Okay, obviously you wouldn't have been stoked about the result last week, but overall how it went, the riding, a great start to the season, I feel.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I was always on the board in practice, which is good, and then my heat race obviously went really good, and then I had really good start in the heat, and I also had a really good start in the main, but Aaron, he just went in a little deep and didn't turn, so everybody went around the inside, and I ended up being midfield and going down, and my bike was so mangled, honestly. If I wouldn't have gone to the mechanics area, I wouldn't have been able to finish the race because everything was so twisted up, and I think my brake line was stretched, is what they said, so it was kind of like hooking the brake sometimes. It felt super weird, so I had to go to mechanics area real quick, and we straightened out the wheel, but my bar mounts were so twisted up because as I crashed, like my front end just got ripped away from me, and I think all the weight and all the force just went onto the handlebars, so it was extremely twisted even after we straightened out the wheel, and yeah, then I did the best I could, you know. I even feel like there were certain laps where I could have sworn my handlebars were twisting even more, because I think once the bar mounts are so mangled and kind of like ripped out, it just felt so loose, you know, and it felt like it was moving. So it wasn't an ideal situation, but I was really, really far back and did the best I could to come back. And obviously, as a later stage in the race, it was really soft, so it got actually really ruddy and tore up. So it was just hard for me to kind of keep my lap times down, and I did the best I could for what got dealt for me, and it wasn't ideal, but you know, these things happen, and I ended up coming back to 10th, and yeah, like I said, it could have been worse. I feel like I could have gotten hurt. Just the way I fell, just all my force went onto my right leg, and you know, even if you just jump a double, like you're up in the air and you land with one foot, so it's not ideal, but luckily I didn't get hurt. I was a little sore a couple days later on, more so my shoulder blades and stuff, and my back, but yeah. You know, it's a new weekend, and it looks like we're gonna have a mudder now, and yeah, I embrace that stuff. You know, I mean, obviously a lot of things can go wrong in the mud, but a lot of things can go your ways as well. So overall, I was glad to just get the first one out of the way and kind of like get the season rolling, and nonetheless, I had fun.
After you have a first lap crash like that, how hard is it to stay focused? Because I'd imagine that if you let your mind run away, you can imagine that your bars are more bent than they are. You can start to question, oh, does that feel right? Oh, that feels a bit funny. Like, I imagine it's quite hard to just block out the fact that the bike is not ideal and focus on the job at hand.
Absolutely, especially right after. It was a little bit of a surreal situation. Like, I could not believe that I was down, you know. Kind of just saw the main event, you know, being washed away. But after being in the mechanics area, like, I just had one thing in my mind, and that's give every little bit that I have to get to the checkered flag. And yeah, for me, I just wanted to do the best I can, so I just got right back into racing mode, and of course it's not ideal being that far back, but it can also go the other way. Like, I think if you can get flustered, and you know, some people pull off or whatever, but that not one time crossed my mind, and it was more so this, you know, these couple of turns until I got to the mechanics area, figuring out like, what do I do? Like, what do I need? Handlebars, like, it just was one of those things, like everything happened so quick there, right? But I had to stop real quick, and then after then it was game on, and yeah, I just had to go.
There's no doubt that you got the most out of that main event though, right? You're not stood here thinking maybe I could have got ninth. I feel like you really took the most that you possibly could out of your situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the end, I think Eli was only just a few seconds ahead of me, but it was the last lap, and I took it easy last lap because I know Jet was basically then right behind me, and there was nobody behind me, and I really had to make it through. And but I agree with you, like, I don't, you know, to be able to get to ninth, I would have had to be, you know, actually, no, it would have actually been possible because I totally forgot. Towards the later stages of the races, I actually jumped off the track after the finish line jump. I went too far left and kind of like split the lane between that where the Dragonback was on press day and the triple, so I had to weasel my way back around. I definitely left some time on the track with that again. That wasn't ideal, but you know, with these mistakes or with the things that happened, 10th I feel like was the best I could do.
Last thing, you're obviously in a good place. The way you commanded that heat race kind of oozed confidence. Mm-hmm. When was the last time you actually felt this confident in your package, your ability? Because I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, I feel like stood before me, you are feeling it right now.
I'm just right in the middle, honestly. I'm not too high, not too low, because I did do some bike changes in the couple of weeks leading up to Anaheim, and of course you have to put them through race conditions. But I never doubt my racing abilities and my capabilities. That doesn't mean it's always going to be a win, but I'm in a mindset, and well, first off, physically I feel really strong and really fit. So wherever I end up in the end of the night, I'm just in a mindset of giving everything I have and leaving nothing on the table. So if I do that and the racing is done, I really can't be that mad. Results aside, you could win, you could be 5th, 4th, and still have great rides. So I'm just really in a good spot right now, and I'm trying not to get too confident, and I'm also not, I'm at the same time, I believe in myself, and it's a long season. I'm gonna take it race by race, and kind of like what I started doing in SMX, and take it race by race, and just see where I end up in the end of the day. And with all the things that happened, I still overall had a shit ton of fun, honestly, last weekend. And I tend to do that these next few rounds too.
Obviously, last week was very successful for you. What did this week look like? Was there one specific thing that you needed to work on? Anything that you hit specifically?
With jumping the whoops, we went back and I jumped the whoops all week. So we worked on that for sure. I needed to do that a little sooner in the main last week, so we worked on that. Other than that, no, just I rode the tracks a little bit later in the day, just get used to the way the tracks broke down. But other than that, same old, just cranking the laps out.
Was it actually learning to jump the whoops that you needed to do, or was it more just learning when to jump the whoops, if you get me?
Yeah, I hadn't jumped the whoops much, but I caught on pretty fast. But I think for me, it's the learning when. A big thing for me, I think I just need to do it once in practice, know what rhythm I can do through them. And then I just need to know in the main when they get chewed out enough that it's time to jump. So I think that was a big thing for me, just learn when, and I'll be good this weekend.
Is jumping the whoops actually surprisingly difficult? Like, you look at it and you think it's so much easier than skimming, but there is quite a lot of timing involved. And
yeah, for sure. The timing's definitely a lot different. You got to learn to be precise. But I feel like it does save a lot of energy. Blitzing gets a bit tiring. So yeah, it saves some energy. So late in the mains when the track's rough, whoops are beat down, I think it'll be good.
Did you notice a difference practicing this week? Like, now that you've got your debut in the rearview mirror and it went well, going to the practice track, did you just feel more relaxed maybe, or more like you knew what the goal was rather than always wondering where you stack up?
Yeah, for sure. I had a lot of anxiety the last 2 weeks before A1, but it's all gone now. I was back to normal this week, resting heart rate's back to normal. So I feel good coming into this weekend.
And last thing, it's going to be a mudder. We don't know how muddy. Are you good in the mud? How would you rate your own mud showing?
I got 15th in one Moto Loretta's and I won another one. So I guess it's a hit or miss, but hopefully we get the good one on Saturday night.
Obviously, last week didn't go to plan. There's so much build-up for Anaheim 1. You worked for it for so long. How much of a mental blow is it to just accept that it's gone to shit and it's not actually your fault at all?
To be honest, I can't even blame the team for what happened, because what happened was just something that was so... If I really did tell you the full story on how we even found out what the problem was, obviously it was an injector issue, but how we got to the injector issue and what caused it to go bad is pretty fucking mind-blowing. So without really, because no one really gets thrown under the bus, it was just a mishap somehow, some way along the lines of some shit. So, but it is a blow. I mean, obviously you want to come out of A1, like, I wanted to be 5 through 10, and get some points and move out of there. But, like, heat race was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but we got how many more, 30 races to go. So we'll start over this weekend.
You say no one can take the blame, but would it have actually made it easier if, like, someone left a bolt loose? Because then you can go, right, that was a problem, we know what caused the problem, you're an idiot, we're moving on.
Yeah, well, we know what caused the problem
okay.
with the injector going bad. And it's just the name of the game. And no matter what we had done, I've said it before, what we have done on the starting line, doing all the protocols and everything, like, none of it was going to matter anyway. So it was a progression of what we were dealing with through the day, and it finally showed up at night for the gate drop of all places. But unfortunate, it happened on the parade lap and not during the first lap of the main event off the finish line or something stupid. So we got lucky and we learned from it and we move on. That's just the name of the game.
Yeah, I guess that never happened in practice at Club MX at any point through the winter.
No. And it was weird, like, just like a little lead up, like throughout the day, like our bikes are really good this year. They've gotten a lot better. We got a bunch of new parts and it's kind of helping things. And I've been really happy with our practice bikes and the development that we've had with the team and Twisted and everything. And on press day and race day, my bike just never really felt like what my practice bike had been. And we've kind of been searching it. And obviously we're out here it's a little bit warmer compared to what we're riding at club, so we're thinking it's mapping and stuff like that. But the whole time it was just like a problem with the injector kind of going bad. It was just something we never really picked up on, and it's nobody's fault. It's just the way it happens. So yeah, it's just that's the way it goes. It's a learning curve.
Is the bike so much better that you actually can have slightly higher expectations of yourself? Like, is it enough to help you make a leap?
Yeah, big difference. So it's our best package we've ever had, and obviously with that comes, it's people don't realize, or well, they do realize we're a privateer team. It's not a factory team. So our budget for spending money on certain parts and things like that, like, it's a huge expense. And when you have 4 guys on the team, to have that for all 4 guys, it's a big undertaking. So they got to make sure things are set up right to where there is proper money to be able to afford it for the whole year and stuff like that, because you don't want it for just strictly a certain amount of time. Once you have that part and you feel how good it is, it's like it's a drug. You can't take it away from us. So there's certain steps that need to go with that. But now our bikes are good, and I feel like we're making headway. So it's a good package.
And last thing, it's probably going to be a mudder. Would you rather have a mudder where everyone's doubling shit and kind of tiptoeing around, or a full-blown mudder where legs are off and you're rolling everything and just trying to survive?
I think everyone will agree with me. It's either having a full-blown mudder, because when you're half-assed and shit and you're in between, like, do you go for it, do you not go for it? That's where your butthole kind of fucking puckers up a little bit. It's like, and the worst part is like, you go out for the heat race after it just rained and you're like, fuck, I don't know if I can hit this Supercross triple or this finish line or what. So the oh shit moment of like, yeah, do you got it or not got it? I don't think anyone in this paddock likes that feeling. So we'll see. I'd rather it just fucking pour and be done with it.
Yeah, best case scenario is it keeps on raining all night, and then you can blow through the slosh versus it drying up, getting claggy, heavy.
Exactly, yeah. And then you're like, all right, can I still make this double? Can I not? Like, I hate that feeling. But I personally, I don't mind the mud. I'm okay with it because I don't have to fucking clean anything. I just drop the bike and see if fellows deal with it later, So I'm spoiled in that aspect. But it is a nuisance on teams and stuff, and it does destroy stuff. And I'll have a new motor this weekend, and it's going to get destroyed tomorrow night. So, but that's part of it. That's why the team's got a budget.
Okay, obviously it was a great start to the season for you, making the main event. Does that immediately set the bar slightly higher than if you maybe didn't make it?
I think the goals stay the same. Like, the goal is obviously to be in there and be battling for spots. I think we all know that it's pretty deep right now at my level. I think any one of those dudes with a good start could have been in there. I put myself in the right position to get in there, and that's just the goal, right? I can't beat myself up too bad if something happens and I don't quite make it. But no, the goal is obviously to be in there every week, no matter what.
So it's not like if you don't make it this week, it will be a tougher pill to swallow because you were there 1 week ago?
No, not really. Everything has to go right. But we're doing all the right things, so I'm just going to keep working at it. If it does go bad, it is what it is, but the main focus is just to get in there and then beat our head against the wall.
Ultimately, you know that you can be better than the last spot in the LCQ anyway. It's not like last week was the ceiling. If anything, you'd like that to be the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, totally, right? I think there's plenty of room. Like, stuff always happens, especially this weekend in the mud, like, to get in out of the heat race. It's not out of the question, right? I think all those guys from, like, 17th to even 30th right now are basically all the same speed. So if you get a good start, man, you can make it in out of any of the races. So it's just having the confidence to do it, right?
Obviously, you aren't on a factory team, so how is it?
Dude, we're factory, man. Look at this thing. We got a sick rig.
I touch a lot of nerves nowadays. How is it preparing for a mud race when you're on a smaller team? Like, do you have to be a bit more strategic and think about it a little more?
Not really. I'm going to ride my practice bike this weekend, just because, we're probably only going to ride 3 or 4 times all weekend anyways. But just to say, I only have 1 race motor right now, so we are going to be on that bike. But, I rode my practice bike at A1 just because I didn't have enough time on the race bike yet. But, yeah, I think we have all the tools we need to be successful in the mud. It's almost more of a level playing field, if anything. just because those guys can't do things supernatural that, maybe some of the other guys can't. So always do. But
last thing, are you a good mud rider? Like you yourself, do you believe that?
I used to be, I'm from Ohio, so like it rains a lot up there, but I used to be really good in the mud, but my wife was saying this to me today. It's like we don't ever ride in the mud anymore unless we're racing. So I almost wish sometimes the team gave us a little leeway to just go have a mud day at the practice track, but no one wants to work on that stuff during the week, so it's like hard to practice and train in it when it's just an inconvenience to everybody all the time. So as much as love to sit here and say that I'm great in it, I'm not. But like New York last year, like I was running 8th or 9th until someone's bike got stuck under mine. So like, and I don't think I ever crashed in that main. So I think I have the tools to be good in the mud. I just got to do it and have a little luck.